Hi everyone and welcome back to WEF World. Today we have another postcard from Pittsburgh dealing with the Lettie G. Howard out of Lake Erie. Nestled in the calm waters of Presque Isle Bay in Erie, Pennsylvania, the Lettie G. Howard is more than just a beautiful sailing vessel. She's a floating piece of American maritime history. At over 130 years old, she's one of the last of her kind and among the older surviving fishing schooners in the United States. Built in 1893 in Essex, Massachusetts, a shipbuilding town once famed for crafting sturdy wooden vessels, the Lettie G. Howard was designed as a Fredonia-style schooner. These ships were the workhorses of the New England fishing fleet, known for their speed, strength, and ability to navigate the tough conditions of the North Atlantic. The vessel was commissioned by Captain Fred Howard, who named her after his daughter Lettie. In her early years, the Lettie worked the fishing grounds of the Georges Bank off the coast of New England, hauling in cod, haddock, and halibut. But like many other working ships, her life evolved over time. She eventually found her way to the Gulf of Mexico, where she became part of the Red Snapper fleet out of Pensacola, Florida. There, she operated under a different name, Jolie Blonde, before being rediscovered decades later as a historically significant vessel. By the mid-20th century, as steel and engine-powered boats became the norm, wooden schooners like the Lettie faded from service. But her story wasn't over. In the 1980s, maritime historians and preservationists recognized her value. She was added to the National Register of Historic Places in 1984 and designated a National Historic Landmark in 1989. Restoration efforts soon followed. Between 1991 and 1993, the Lettie G. Howard underwent a comprehensive rebuild at the South Street Seaport Museum in New York City. The goal wasn't just to make her seaworthy again, it was to restore her as faithfully as possible to her original 1893 design. New timbers were laid, traditional rigging was reinstalled, and she was recertified by the U.S. Coast Guard as a sailing school vessel. What makes her so special isn't just her age. She's one of only two known surviving Fredonia schooners, a class known for their distinctive clipper bows, deep holds, and efficient rigging. These ships were once common, but now the Lettie G. Howard is a rare and living link to that era of sail-powered commerce and labor. In recent years, the Lettie has found a new home in Erie, Pennsylvania, through a partnership between the South Street Seaport Museum and the flagship Niagara League. She now docks alongside the U.S. brig Niagara, and together they anchor Erie's maritime heritage programming. The Lettie sails regularly during the warmer months, offering public day sails, sunset cruises, and educational programs for students and aspiring sailors. Step aboard today and you'll see her gleaming deck, varnished woodwork, and sails stretching skyward, all echoing craftsmanship from a bygone century. The creak of the rigging, the slap of the waves, and the scent of pine tar remind visitors that this is not a replica, this is the real thing. What makes the Lettie G. Howard particularly compelling is how she continues to serve, not as a static museum ship, but as an active participant in community life. She brings history to life under sail, allowing passengers to experience what it was like to fish under canvas, to haul lines by hand, and to navigate using the wind and stars. She's also a teaching platform, helping younger generations connect with maritime heritage, teamwork, and the principles of seamanship. For many, it's their first time on the water, and their first encounter with a vessel that's older than their great-grandparents. In a world of fast-changing technology and digital everything, the Lettie G. Howard reminds us of a time when progress moved at the speed of the wind. She carries the legacy of working sailors, coastal towns, and the enduring relationship between people and the sea. Still strong, still grateful, still sailing. The Lettie G. Howard is more than a ship. She's a story, and it's one worth hearing and seeing every time she sets out on Lake Erie's horizon. Thanks for watching WEF World. See you soon. Remember to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Bye.